Hello, I'm Keith George, and I'm here to talk about Rose Hill Middle School's continuous plan of improvement. In identifying our plan of improvement, we're going to analyze the questions: who are we, where are we now, and where do we want to be? And by identifying where we want to be, we can recognize where the gaps are. So first, who are we? Rose Hill Middle School, grades 6 through 8, has approximately 363 students enrolled. The demographic information we're going to be reviewing is from the 2016-2017 school year. Here we see our gender demographics, where you can see that they are very similar to that of the state's averages, where the male population is slightly higher than that of the female population. Looking at race and ethnicity, you'll see that Rose Hill Middle School is primarily white Caucasian at an 88.4% population, compared to that of the state's average of 64.57%. So our diversity is much less than that of the state average. Economically disadvantaged students, we in Rose Hill have 31.4% students who are recognized as economically disadvantaged, compared to the state's 48.3%. So we're a little lower than that of the state when it comes to economically disadvantaged. In this graph, I compiled the information for ELL, non-migrant, and students with disabilities in comparison to that of the state's averages. Our ELL population is about 10% less than that of the state. Our non-migrant population, we're 100% non-migrant. And then students with disabilities, 11.85%, which is just slightly lower than that of the state average at 14.42%. Our teacher quality, the teachers within our building are 100% fully licensed, and the teachers within our building are 100% highly qualified to teach their subject areas. So where are we now? One piece of information I looked at was our student risk screening scale survey that is given out to teachers in the fall and also in the spring. They're given a list of students where they identify on a scale of 0 to 3, 3 being frequent and 0 being never, whether they believe a student is going to ever steal or lie, cheat, be a behavior problem, face peer rejection, have low academic achievement, have a negative attitude, or have aggressive behaviors. And that information is all compiled from all of the teachers, and students are identified as Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3. That's one way that we like to identify what students we are connecting with. Here we have some information that I pulled from our school-wide information system known as SWIS. Just looking at office referrals, the major office referrals. This is from the current year, so from August 1st, 2017 to present. It's just a breakdown by grade level as to how many major office referrals have been written. And as you can see, 8th grade has written more than that of the other grade levels. And as a building, there's been 74 referrals written. We use a program known as Ames Web to identify students who may need more assistance with ELA as well as math. So here we can see some grade level comparisons, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The color coding there, blue represents below average, the darker blue represents average, and the gold represents above average. So these are the scores from this last fall. We're compiling scores from just this last week, so I do not have that data to compare whether there have been improvements. Here's the math fall scores for Ames Web. I was unable to pull the 7th grade fall scores, but here's a comparison of 6th and 8th grades students who were below average, average, and above average. Looking at the science state assessment, um, at the Rose Hill Middle School, um, we had a lower percentage of students achieve a level 4 than that of the state average. We did have a higher percentage in level 3, a higher percentage in level 2, and a lower percentage in level 1 compared to that of the state's averages for the science assessments. In math, almost the same story here. A lower percentage in level 4 than that of the state, a lower percentage of students in level 3 compared to the state, and then a higher percentage in level 2 and an equal percentage in level 1 in comparing math assessments. For ELA, they scored a 4.9% in level 4 compared to the state's 9.4% and average at a level 4. Rose Hill Middle School did score slightly higher in level 3, higher in level 2, and lower in level 1. So where do we want to be based on that information? And where are the gaps? So first off, some of the things that we've identified that we want to continue to focus on are improving our systems of support for our ELL students and students with disabilities. We want to retain our highly qualified and licensed staff. In looking at our SRSS, we want to reduce the number of Tier 2 students, make better connections with these students. We want to minimize the number of major office referrals that are being written. So work on classroom management, continue to push our CHAMPs. We want to increase the number of students in grades 6 through 8 that are average or above average on the math and ELA Ames Web scores for the spring tests. We'll be finding that out soon. And we also want to increase the number of level 3 or 4 scores on the math, science, and the ELA assessments for this upcoming year. And lastly, we want to compile the information from our perception surveys distributed to staff, students, and parents to identify any needs for improvement there as well. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.